Hey guys. Oh my god. Good evening. I am so sorry I'm late. So many technical issues. I know it's 10 minutes past 4 o'clock, the agreed time, and all my stuff has just been all over the place. See, I'm still trying to fix my camera. Ugh, this is annoying. Oh my god, guys. It's been just so crazy. And I'm sorry I'm late. Yeah, like I had to like move places. I was gonna shoot in the living room. Nothing was happening. This scheduled live chat wasn't working. Oh my god, guys, I'm sorry. Anyways, 1 second. I'm trying to get back in my element. It's your girl Janie, and for the life of me, welcome back to For the Life of Me. So if you're new, where have you been? And if you're subscribed and returning, thank you for joining us today. It is so hot in Toronto today, probably 30 something degrees. Guys. Okay, what this is 40 Lum Live, and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I get on here and talk to people about like coming, leaving, studying in Canada and what it's really like. Oh my gosh. Ah, thank you. What it entails and all that stuff. And I have to apologize. I can't just come on here and act like I was here last week. I wasn't here last week as scheduled, and I'm so sorry. I was in the middle of rural Ontario called Grand Bend, Ontario, and I thought I'll get there and like show you guys the outdoors of what the beaches in the rural cities look like. But the network was so bad and I couldn't go live, and I just thought I would answer questions on here today. And please like this video right now if you accept my apology for like not showing up last week, and of course showing up late today. It's not my nature, but yeah, I'm sorry. um so also a little blur to France. Congrats to France on the winning of the World Cup. So if you're a France fan, do me a favor right now and like this video right now, because I was just supporting anyone who wins, okay? And if you're supporting another country, and most likely the country, DM Instagram at Bayanaj. Also you could email me bayanaj@gmail.com and send me your personal questions you want answered. The reason I do 40 Lum Live is because sometimes I get repeat questions and I don't want to have to email that person back. So you guys can hear answers to questions you probably have thought about but never asked, or just getting everyone to answer to hear the answers to the same questions. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go into the questions. I have five pre-scheduled questions around doing a postgraduate certificate, being over 30, and if you're what my advice is for someone who's trying to study as an international student, to leave on or off campus, and also credibility of the Trinity Western University school, and what studying in Halifax looks like. So without further ado, I'm going into the question. This inquirer sent me a question saying she has worked for more than 9 years, is married with a child, and is 34 and wants to do her postgraduate diploma. Is it possible to do that at that age? I'll just go off and say yes, because I remember when I was in Humber, I saw way older people in school. So I'm not sure if we're doing the continuing education, but I doubt it because we're international students, and I don't think international students usually do continuing education, right? Like we talked about in our previous video 2 weeks ago. So yes, you can. Um, and she asked me if it's possible, if it's advisable to do a 1 year program or a 2 year, which is better to settle in the long run. I don't think anyone is better than the other, but seeing that you have more than 9 years experience, work experience, what I advise you do is check out the PR assessment, because I know people who've done just a 1 year program and gotten their PR anyways because they had a skilled working experience from back home, and that actually counts to some experience. And usually they just do 1 year program, get a 1 year work permit, and transfer their skills, and it's okay. You don't need to do 2 years. But a lot of people do 2 years because they do not have working experience back home, and they want to get more than 1 year work experience in Canada. And just in case you're not sure, they might get work within that 1 year of their work permit. And she's also asking that as a self-sponsored, is she required to show like properties in the form of land or houses, or just an account balance of a certain amount enough? My advice usually is, so with these situations when you feel like you are unsure, send everything. When I was applying for my study permit, and of course my parents were my sponsors, I had to show proof of everything they had. Maybe not everything, but a good 80%, showing that I have stake in Nigeria, where I'm from, and I would go back because my parents own this and this and this and this, and they have a business and all that stuff. So yes, show all your land documents, show your businesses, certification of corporation for your businesses if you have them, and all your account balances. And with your letter or of explanation when you're applying for your visa, also add why you're above the normal age of some people who will be doing a postgraduate program, and this is why you want to do it. Saying you have had a family, but you want to advance yourself professionally, and this is why you're looking to do a postgraduate certificate. You want to better yourself. Appeal to the visa office's emotions, as well as in your study, in your letter of interest for your program. You should also let them know why you're not the typical candidate, but this is why they should consider you. Okay, I hope I've answered that question. The next question is, a Caribbean student who wants to study in Canada, but she's asking if staying on campus, if she needs to show a required amount of 10K to get your visa. Like I said in the first question, show as much as you can. I don't think it's required, because the truth is, one thing that a lot of people have thought about as being vague is proof of funds. Like, what is exactly the right amount of proof of funds? But if you Google this, like, you should see some suggestions. Usually show as much as you can and what you have. Don't lie about it, because they'll ask you for bank statements. Um, but if, say, your residence costs like, this is an approximation, say 2 grand a month, and your program is 1 year, you need to show that you have 2,000 times 12, 24,000 to pay for the entire year, or you have like an income or family support that's gonna send the rest of it, but you have like at least 3 months ahead of time. You know what I mean? Just do the math and figure out what you think you need for it and try to show that. Okay, this other question is somebody who has an undergraduate certificate in a BA in geography, but wants to do a postgraduate diploma in computer programming. That just because later on he wants to do a master's in geography information science or geographic information science, can he qualify for a study visa based on this transition? Okay, all you I'm not a visa officer. Oh, I forgot to do my disclaimer. I am not a visa officer, an immigration officer, or an immigration consultant. So I don't know what might qualify per se. But what I always know works is in your letter of explanation, tell them your story. Tell them, this is what I have for my bachelor's degree, but I'm trying to transcend into this career, and this is what my future 5 years looks at. And I've done the math and planned it out, and I know that if I do a diploma in computer programming, it will allow me to do my geographic information science master's in long run, and I can get to this dream. The officer who's looking at your application can picture why you want to do that, and it's a no-brainer, because I had an IT degree, bachelor's, but then I had to transfer to media, and I told them because I wanted to do digital media, so my IT and media will help me do digital media. So I think it's A plus B. So try it. I'm not guaranteeing you're gonna get a visa, but of course, he's also asking if I can help look over his study plan. I do that for people, but it's not free, because I am in my head over all the work I'm doing, working full time. I have a master's report that's due tonight, and that's another reason why I was late today. My final research paper is due tonight, and it's just crazy. I need to get done with that tonight until then. So if you guys need help with your study plan letter, like if you have it drafted and you need someone to look it over, you can book a consultation with me. I have a calendar book appointment website in my about section. Book an appointment with me, but consultation might be free, but I cannot do your work for you for free. Okay, just putting out that there. Thank you guys. 2 more questions, and then I'll go into the live questions. This candidate got conditional admission with Trinity Western University and wants to know if the school is credible and accredited. When I checked, yes, it is, but it's a private university, and I don't think it is a Christian school, so it would be a little different from the public universities in that you have to go through some strict rules, and policies because it's a religious school. But I actually personally asked my friend who went to University of British Columbia, and she said everyone who went there likes it, and it has a good rep. So if that helps you, I think congrats on your admission, and I think you should go because the school's been around for a long time. It's private though, so it'll be different from all other public federal universities. Also, what I think I always advise people to do, oh my god, if you get admission in a school, check Facebook. Usually sometimes there's groups that belong to past classes that went to this school, or like an international student group that went to, say, Trinity Western University, and you can find a buddy on there, or you can just post on there being like, hi, I just got admitted and I'd like to know your opinion on this school. And you people will usually want to help you because they know that information firsthand. I did not go to that school, so I can speak on it in detail. Okay. Last question. This inquirer wants to know about public relations in University of Halifax, Nova Scotia for a master's. Is PR a good career in Canada? What my opinion is about Halifax and all that stuff. Okay, so is PR a good career in Canada? I guess, but I don't know. I'm not in PR, but it depends on where you are. I feel like PR is big in big cities than it is in smaller places like Halifax. Matter of fact, okay, general opinion about Halifax, Nova Scotia is it is a student town, and this town is designed to actually help students. So your university card, I asked my friend who did his computer networking masters there, says you get a student card, and your student card in Halifax allows you like get on the bus. It gives you like discount in certain restaurants and stuff like that. I was like, what? I should have schooled in Halifax. But the problem is, after he graduated from his computer networking job masters, it was really hard for him to find a job, so he had to move to somewhere in Ontario. Okay, and it's a little cheaper than Ontario for sure. Not a little, a lot cheaper than schools in Ontario to school in Halifax. So sometimes a lot of people go there, school, and then leave and find a job somewhere else. That is an option you should probably look into as well. So that's my opinion about Halifax. And usually, the next question is it better to live on or off campus as an international student? Honestly, if you have the time and the resources, it's a little cheaper to live off campus. It might be farther away from you, but you get your own space, you get to negotiate. You get your own space. You can actually go around the city as opposed to just going from class to school. Most people I know who've lived off of campus have preferred it, and then people I know everywhere usually, and people I know who live on campus will probably did that because they didn't have time between when they arrived in the country and when they had to like figure out residence issues, and then after the first semester they'll usually find a place off of campus. Um, Next question is best way to pay your tuition from your home country. Honestly, just follow the school's advice because every school has a different way for you to pay your tuition. Usually it's wire transfer for international payments, but it depends on the instructions from the school. And regarding cheap airlines to fly from Nigeria to Toronto, I don't know. Not an airline agent. What I do to find cheap flights is I literally just Google flights from wherever city to your, and then I check things like Expedia, Trivago, um, excuse me, what is it, cheapflights.ca and stuff like that. And I hope I've been able to answer those questions. Now I'm gonna go to all the questions sent right now on the chat and see how many I can answer right now. If I'm starting in September, what should I apply to uni and permit and same for January? Okay, oh wait, hold on, that's not the first question. Okay, yeah. That is okay, so that's the first question. It depends on what country you're coming from, okay? So because in some countries, what I advise you to do first is check out what is it, how long it takes for study permits to be processed. If it's 5 months, you have to take that out. Then usually postgraduate schools that are not universities, like certificates and diplomas, will take 2 to 3 months to sort out your application. So that takes you 8 months. So first thing you do is check out the time it takes in your country to apply for average time to process your study permit, and then check with the school how long it'll take to hear back from your admission and add that up, and then Um, can someone do a certificate course in University of Regina and later switch to the masters in the school? You have to call the university and find out if you can do that. If they have a certificate course, most likely you can always transfer it to a master's. But get on the phone and call the school and you would know for sure. Because I don't know about University of Regina like that. Uh, after I get accepted, when should I pay the uni fees, and should I pay half of the annual fees? GIC enough. Okay, when you get accepted, when do you pay the uni fees? It depends on the school. Usually, when you get accepted, they'll tell you in your acceptance letter you have until this day to pay your fees, and you just have to go by whatever they say. And I hope that answers that question. Okay, Rahaf. You studied in the UK and you've studied in English your entire life, but it's not your first language. Some universities don't require IELTS for these situations. So, OUAC. So, listen, I did IELTS, even though I had studied in English my entire life. The university's general requirements said I needed IELTS. But the second I submitted my transcript and they saw it was in English, the button that says upload your IELTS results just got away because all my transcripts are in English. So if usually it depends on the school. If you're going to Quebec, it's different because the first language there is French. But in most English speaking provinces, once your credentials have been all in English, that is enough. That's sufficient, and you don't have to do an IELTS. My IELTS was kind of like a waste. But however, I also know that a lot of people who did the IELTS before coming here could, and it hadn't expired, could also use that as their results to apply for their permanent residency, because to do that, to do a PR, you need to have an IELTS no matter what language you were instructed in. If you're accepted for a work permit, can your spouse and your spouse has been approved for a study permit, can you my god, sorry. Can you enter before the work permit is approved and wait for it? No, I don't think you can. You have to wait for it is to be approved. If you come into Canada, you want to enter Canada before you have to have a visitor's visa. Other than that, you have to wait. From what I know, but again, check. I got accepted to a university in Halifax and at the University of Winnipeg. Oh, okay, cool. Winnipeg or Halifax. That's hard. It depends on what you want. It depends on what program you are. One thing, it depends on this is hard. I have like people both in Halifax and Winnipeg. Manitoba, oh my gosh. Okay, so there's two things you also want to look into with that question is what is your end goal? Do you want to be a permanent resident or do you want to move back? So because if you do, you have to also look at like the permanent residency methods in both provinces. I know Halifax, Nova Scotia is in the Atlantic region, so there's the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program where if you school there, you can get into your permanent residency faster. And I know Winnipeg or Manitoba right now, the province actually has increased the list of skilled immigrants they need and have done like 2 pools in the past week. Review and U of Ottawa, I'll try to do that later on. But so it depends on really what you want. What are your long-term goals? What you have to check the reputation with your program, the program you're studying, what the students think about it, and what is the cost of living in those two provinces. If you wanted to me to do that research, you have to book a separate time and then we can talk about that. Other than that, guys, I have to wrap up this video. I have tried to put it under the 20-minute mark. And thank you to all of you who joined me live today. Please leave a like right now and send me your questions. Any question I couldn't answer today, send it to me DM on Instagram at bayanaj or email at bayanaj@gmail.com. You guys have all been amazing and wish you have a really blessed and fun week. I'm starting a full-time job tomorrow and I'm in over my head with schoolwork and everything. So I'm just blessed to be able to still do this for you guys. So that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next week Sunday. Remember to like and comment and tell me what you want me to make a video about, meaning that I'll actually have more time to edit videos now that I'm almost done with my master's. Oh my god. So you guys expect new content soon, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now and click the bell notification to know whenever I'm on here. Have a good week, guys, and bye.